tell us, what kind of impact has your movement made in our society and in our youth?
To be quite honest, it's strange really, because when we started out earlier this year, we had the idea of really, it has always been our passion to really change society, and we didn't even imagine that we'd have such a huge impact on the youth of our country. And through this movement, we have really realized the hunger for the youth to really seek to be inculcated and to seek consciousness. The impacts that we've had, we've graced many stages, and the feedback that we've received from the general public has been unanimously positive, and a lot of the people that have engaged with our group perhaps have really stated that we're doing something that is very relevant to our society as we are moving forward as the Born Frees. We are growing, and we will one day be the leaders of our country. So our movement has really impacted in educating them about their history, educating them about their role in society and how they can move forward and move this country forward, and so forth.
And what is so humbling about what we are doing and how it affects and impacts other people's lives is that people relate to our stories, our narratives, our messages and whatnot are grounded from our own experiences, and we feed that to people who actually listen. And what we've learned over the months that we've been together, and obviously from the feedback, as I said, from public, is that there are people who are sharing the same experiences and same stories that we are sharing, which is very, very encouraging, because as an audience who is listening to a writer and a poet reflecting and telling stories, it's so amazing to have somebody, even if it's one person out of a whole group of people, to come back to you and say, thank you for saying that. You understand, I'm experiencing the same thing as you're doing. And what that does to that individual is that it gives them a different perspective on life. So it almost puts that individual not alone anymore. You know, not alone, but then you have an understanding that there's someone else out there who's sharing what you're sharing, and that just eliminates solitude.
And like our education system, you know, like I think it's become an education system that only looks at one kind of intelligence, right? And it does not encourage people to follow their passion, you know, their given talent, you know. And what are your views on that, and what do you have to say?
Education system itself, I believe, is a sinister tool. You understand? That is there to govern how we think. It wants us to think and reflect and reason in a certain kind of way that is not our own. You understand? So my view as an artist and as a person who's very observant of society and what happens around the world is that we have to drift away and find our voice first before we find someone else's voice. Because there's a song they're trying to teach us, you know, that we can't sing as much as they can. You understand? There's a poem that they want us to write in a certain way. It is fine, exactly. It's in a certain way. And unfortunately, we were born in this world. It's always been like this. The next generation will have the same problem. Unless until that we change it now, and make things better for those coming after us.
Yeah, basically, I think it's just redefining Africa. Because for many centuries now, Africa has been defined by the Western world. And it's kind of hard to find an African identity within ourselves. And therefore, we've conformed to the Western way of doing things. Even through our education, we conformed to that system. Through our living, we've conformed. Even this activity is conducted in a Western sort of manner, because we have been infiltrated by these ideas of the West. We have not yet found our African identity, and perhaps in order to readjust our educational system, it is for us to first redefine ourselves and identify what is an African. If I can say I'm an African and this is what I stand for, it is easier for us to move forward and implement ideas that will change our
And like, if you know what I'm saying, like I remember reading Great Gatsby, you know, they talked about the American dream, you know, and so I'm doing research about it, and they say it's being changed to Americans' dream. Why? Because they're not given the opportunity to dream, you know, themselves, even in themselves, you know. And that on its own, because I've been like into like many homes that have basically little and don't have much to survive. And I've seen them so happy, you know, happy, like words can't even describe their happiness. The way they huddle around the table and have conversations and engage in conversations that actually make you smile, even though you don't experience their pain or that. And like also like, so what's your take on riches and money and instead of passion and desire?
money can't buy you all of what you say. You know, that huddling around it and it's
Exactly.
with the family and sharing conversations and having that dialogue. You don't need money to experience that. And that is beauty of the heart, you understand? There's nothing as important, there's nothing as precious as that kind of common love between two people.
Between two people,
a group
yes.
of people who share something in common.
The genuine smile.
That genuine smile is going to make you happy, it's going to make you feel very warm at night when you go to sleep.
When you go to sleep.
It's the idea of there's this concept, if I'm not mistaken, of commodity fetishism. Basically, what this idea is that certain people are made to believe that having certain commodities makes you who you are. Basically, what it strives to say that if you don't have certain things, or if you do not know certain people, if you're not part of certain circles, if you're not doing certain things, you are inferior. And so perhaps it's the fear of one to be inferior within a society which is so capitalistic and so which strives to really empower economically that we fail to even look at our passions in the first place. And I believe that if you focus on your passion, it is much more easier for you to find happiness and fulfillment of the purpose of your living. Because I believe there's a purpose to your living. And if our purpose for everyone is to make money and so forth, then really what is the essence of life? Because the essence of life is for you to fulfill a purpose. And I feel like my purpose is to really educate through my poetry and to really drive the African child into believing that their dreams can also it's a very relevant time for me to start thinking about it. Next year, this will be the very first time that the Born Frees will be allowed to vote. And voting and educating yourself about the way forward for our country and so forth is the first start that you can, the first step that you can take into ensuring that your voice is heard next year. And as for you to start and initiate the social change and this whole change within our country, because I believe that as the Born Frees, we're a very powerful group of young people who have ideas that will change the country, and that you should never see yourself as inferior, and that your dreams are your dreams, and they should satisfy you. And sometimes I feel like you need to be selfish. You need to be selfish, and
can I get a high five?
you need to be selfish and not think of what are they going to say about you. Because a lot of us are very conscious of what the society is going to say about you. At some certain stages, like within myself, I feel very conscious about what are people going to say. This guy was studying engineering. What is he doing at a DA? You know? The title of being an engineer is far, according to society, is perceived as a far much more of a greater achievement than becoming a politician and so forth. But at the end of the day, at night when you go to sleep, they're not there. You're the one who's left with the spirit that you created upon yourself because you're trying to impress. So what I'm saying, don't impress. Be radical. Be different. And follow your heart.
Like even Albert Einstein says, sometimes I wonder, if I'm not as crazy or dead, and yeah, so what do you have to say?
I think it starts with self-determination. As a young people in South Africa, especially, we have a very beautiful country, rich in history and whatnot. I think what I have to say for the youth is that, let's pick up a book. Let's start at home. Let's live in a time where we find that wisdom is not found in the lecture hall, but it starts at home. Charity starts at home. So I think it should start that we need institutions, education institutions, to teach us. We can teach ourselves, and I think if we come in these spaces having acquired that knowledge before even being poisoned by knowledge, we'll be able to sort of win the battle of being brainwashed. Because we already built a weapon for ourselves to say, no, I know who I am, I know what I'm about, I know what you are about, and I will not let you brainwash me and make me who you want to be.
Because even when we start this interview, right? I have a list of things I have to say. I literally, as we have seen, I struggle to say these things. But once I started, being myself and speaking my heart, it really proves that when you do what you love, follow your heart, but take your brain with you. When you do what you love, I feel like the world just splits apart for you. Opportunities just develop, ideas just develop, and you become one who changes the world, and you become one who changes society. And thank you very much for joining us, and I really appreciate the opportunity to hear your voice and your views, and with that, thank you. Yeah.